radio for discerning listeners. Starr 103.5 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Starr Midday News. And coming up in the bulletin, coalition of Uwejagbawe parliamentary results transferred to Greater Accra Regional Coalition Centre after hundreds of NDC supporters massed up at the constituency coalition centre alleging manipulation of figures of declared results.
So district officer and other colleagues filling some portions of the form. So we have to confront them and find out why are they doing that after declaration.
We will be live to our reporter for the very latest. Also in the bulletin, President-elect John Dramani Mahama's team raises alarm over alleged last-minute recruitment into public sector and timing of contract payments. We'll hear from them as well as hear from a political scientist, Dr. Asante, who says the scrutiny is welcome. Also ahead, Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs expresses worry over highly tilted nature of the upcoming 9th Parliament, warning accountability may be difficult to demand.
And we have these low numbers on the side of the opposition and then a very high attrition of experienced members who would have been relied upon to lead the charge in terms of holding the government to account. Then you can only get worried.
And later on, looming water crisis in the Ashanti region as staff of the Ghana Water Company Limited threatened to shut down in 48 hours. In protest of illegal encroachment on their residential facilities.
Within 48 hours.
Yes. 48 hours.
If the walls and the broken down properties are not restored, we shall shut down our operations in the Ashanti region. Yeah.
Details of these stories and many more, including sports and what is trending on social media, all coming up in the next 30 minutes. Stay tuned in. Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch. You're welcome once again to the Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM here in Accra. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Platinum Place. My name is Na Didi Tete, and we're going to start off with developments coming from the Uwejagbawe constituency, where the NDC supporters massed up earlier today in relation to figures that were declared by the Electoral Commission.
But if they are refusing, we are all wasting time here. What are we doing here? Nothing. The police themselves are tired. They just brought in the military people who are fresh. But everybody is tired. The people who are there, everybody is insane now. Me, myself, I'm insane. So they should just let us go to the Regional Coalition Center and everything will be over.
Now, this is how angry NDC supporters are after a directive was issued to prevent the EC officials from going to the Regional Coalition Center. Now, earlier this morning, hundreds of supporters of the NDC massed up at the Uwejagbawe Constituency Coalition Center, alleging manipulation of figures to tally declared results. On Sunday, parliamentary candidates for the NPP, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, was declared winner, polling 32,608 votes, while the NDC's Felix Odate garnered 25,460 votes. However, members of the NDC alleged that the figures were manipulated in favor of the NPP parliamentary candidate Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Our reporter Obed Kingaglo has more in this report.
Yesterday that we came here, we came to meet some infractions about this electoral process. We know before declaration of results, the coalition sheets are filled, and the summary sheet will be filled and the declaration sheet will be signed by agents. Now we came here and we saw district officer and his other colleagues filling some portions of the form. So we have to confront them and find out why are they doing that after declaration. So what formed the basis of their declaration on Sunday? And up to now, no proper reason has been given to us. So it has been concluded that we move to the EC headquarters to resolve this issue. And this is unfair, and this cannot be countenanced in our elections.
You are confident that your own internal tabulation, you won the elections?
Definitely.
And the situation escalated to a point where military was called to take control of the situation. As you can see right behind me, we see military officials trying to protect the electoral official to be able to move to the regional coalition center. But the crowd is charged, insisting that the right thing be done before everybody leaves here. But the twist of event of moving the process to the national headquarters of the police agitated the already angered members of the National Democratic Congress. Let's go to headquarters.
Yeah, I just heard it and we don't know what they are going to do about it because they don't declare in the elections at the police headquarters. This is where they declare elections, and this is where we want them to hold us as high esteem. Listen to our call, listen to our cry, and make sure that our votes really count. We want them to declare the election here. What are we going to do at the police headquarters? Please tell me. What are we going to do at the police headquarters?
We don't vote at the
Actually, we don't declare election at the police headquarters.
We don't see the reason why we should move from here to the police headquarters. This constituency is no voting going on there.
So that is a report filed by Obed Kingaglo, and he's joining me in the studio. We understand that calm has been restored, and there has been a decision to transfer the coalition to the regional headquarters. Obed, tell us a bit more about that.
Right, so now the day, so this is the chronicle of events. When voting occurred on Saturday, on Sunday, some results were declared, and Jerry Ahmed Shaibu, who is the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party, was declared winner, having polled some 32,608 votes, whilst Felix Odate Lamte garnered 30,460 votes. And this was declared at the polling station, the coalition center. But we are told that before the declaration, the NDC candidates left the coalition center jubilating even before declaration.
And I understand.
And the time,
I understand that before him leaving, initially the NPP candidate was refusing to append to his
exactly.
signature.
So he refused to sign. Before they realized a declaration was made and that Jerry Ahmed Shaibu was the winner of the parliamentary seats. Fast forward today, or if you like yesterday at 11 p.m., they got a tip-off that the EC official who declared the results is at the coalition center. Their office is at the municipal assembly. As at 12 p.m., they were there trying to manipulate the figures to tally what they declared. My understanding is that what they declared, they didn't have a tabulation to arrive at that figure.
Yeah.
And so, upon knowing that the NDC parliamentary candidate will go to court and that evidence will be sought of how they arrived at the figure for declaration, they were manipulating figures.
Allegedly
to tally with the declared results. And so, there was a tip-off and the NDC members in their constituency marched up at the municipal assembly where the EC office is, which also doubles as the coalition center. And that led to a lot of confusion. Louver blades were broken, doors were broken, and the police had to call for reinforcements, which brought about the presence of the military. Then later on, they all agreed that because there was misunderstanding, then they will move the whole process to the regional coalition center, which is the regional head office here at Ridge. When they got here, it was a twist of event. The police said they were moving to the headquarters of the police. And so as we speak, the constituency coalition officer, or if you like, the returning officer who declared, is not at the regional headquarters. They came there all right, but the police sent them back to their headquarters. So as we speak, the members of the National Democratic Congress are the only ones there at the regional headquarters. They claim they are waiting for them, and they are waiting for the regional director to come so that they will continue with the process. Felix himself is there waiting for them. I don't know how the process is going to continue with that, but we will return there and then bring you update how things will pan out. But
in the constituency, you spoke to the outgoing member of parliament for Obom, Sophia Akwaku. What did she tell you?
Now, she is part of the regional monetary team of the NDC when it comes to the 2024 elections, and she is very, very, very livid about the whole process. She tells me that if the EC does not act, the members will get mad. And there's a soundbite of him saying that she herself is going mad, quote unquote, because the EC cannot be collating figures or trying to tally figures when there has been declaration. It's not happened before. And so they are calling on the regional director of the Electoral Commission to intervene so that the collation be done again. They believe that per their collation at the regional level, with the pin sheet they have, Felix Odati Lamte, who is the NDC parliamentary candidate, won the elections.
The issue is that we've agreed that we are all going to the regional collation center so that we'll go and solve the problem there. As we were ready to leave, then the commander came and said that he has not gotten a signal from the regional collation center. And we are saying that if we move to the collation center, tempers will calm down. Tempers will come down. So we talked to our boys that we are moving to the collation center to go and resolve the problem. They agreed and they calmed down. But if you are saying that the EC will not come out, then it means that you are not helping the situation. So they will get agitated again. So that is what is going on. If the woman comes out and she's going, everybody knows that the problem is going to be solved at the region. They all calm down. That's all about it.
But we see that members of yours are throwing water, sachet water, stones.
Yes,
we sure that you calm them down.
You see they are calm now. When we talk to them, they listen. They should let the woman come out. They should protect the woman and the returning officer. See them in their car and let's all follow and go. Right. But if they are refusing, we are all wasting time here. What are we doing here? Nothing. The police themselves are tired. They just brought in the military people who are fresh. But everybody is tired. The people who are there, everybody is insane now. Me, myself, I'm insane. So they should just let us go to the regional collation center and everything will be over.
So, Obed, that is the... And she said she's part of the task force for the region. All right. Well, we'll keep our listeners updated. You are going back to the regional headquarters, I believe.
Most likely.
Yesterday was calm. There was no supporter there. It looks as though today it will be a beehive of activity. Thank you very much, Obed King Gaglo, bringing us the details in relation to the Wejagbawe constituency election results. Let's move on and talk about the transition exercise. And you're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. And before we move on to the transition, issues relating to post-election violence is still on the table, and most of you have been talking about it on social media. Nanama Aqua is joining me in the studio with some of those reactions. Nanama, what are people saying on social media in relation to some of these post-election related violence that we are recording?
Well, now since Saturday, we have seen many scenes and heard of a lot of these pockets of violence going on. When we move over to Facebook, we have Bill. This NDC PC is very funny. In the middle of collation, this PC was busy sleeping in the collation room. And what does he expect?
Oh dear.
I'm sorry.
So this is the way to go. We are sorry.
We've never seen his movement during the campaign time. He should find somewhere and sleep. Then Michael says unnecessary tension in some collation centres won by NDC MPs is due to NPP contaminated and incompetent EC. Daniel says, I want to follow this one to the very letter, but I have a lot to say. But for now, I pray they come up with something positive. Bright adds, so the NPP Greater Accra executives are sitting down for Sam George and his group to misbehave. Kelly said, let us not forget that Baumia got EGAP of 41%. Then we have Joseph. Those EC officials who delay result declarations should be prosecuted. When we scoot on over to Instagram, we have Rich. You people know, see nothing yet. Rich calm down. Then we have good to see the people of Wajagbawe rise. We have the next comment on Instagram, Ghana is a total joke. Then we have that Shy Hills girl, these schemes are all but a distraction. So this is what people had to say. Now, back over to you.
Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Nanama Aqua, with those reactions on social media there. Let's talk about the transition team at the moment. And the team of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, has raised alarm over what it describes as last-minute recruitment into the public sector. Now, speaking to the media on the sidelines of the inauguration of the transition teams, the spokesperson of the president-elect, Felix Kwachi-Fosu, has further questioned the timing of some 240 million CDs being paid to, ECG contract. Mr. Kwachi-Fosu fears the action could have severe repercussions for the incoming team by tying their hands. Have a listen.
In quite a number of state agencies, some last-minute recruitments are going on. And these recruitments are being done in a manner that appears to have partisan coloration. In other words, MPP supporters and members are being rammed through the system to gain employment just before their party leaves power. For instance, we have heard that in GRA alone, over 700 backdated appointment letters have been issued. Now, the people who have been issued these letters, we are told, have not gone through any credible appointment process. We do know of similar happenings in the Bank of Ghana, where about 150 people are being issued appointment letters, and in various other places. In addition to this, we have heard of payments of large amounts of money to some shadowy entities who are supposed to have done business with some SOEs. For instance, we do know that the Electricity Company of Ghana is on the verge of paying about 240 million Ghana cedis to an entity called Haptel. And given the large amounts of money involved, one would have thought that the government would be minded to raise this matter with the incoming government. In 2016, Mr. Osafo, who was then the co-chairperson of the Transition Committee, wrote a letter to the outgoing government insisting that all recruitments, all payments, or all transactions that are likely to have significant fiscal impact on the incoming administration must be done only with the explicit consent of the incoming government. So I would have thought that having set this precedent, the NPP itself would be minded to follow suit and act in a manner that keeps faith with the principle that they set.
You had the spokesperson for the team of the president-elect John Mahama for the transitions team, Felix Kwachi-Fosu. Well, political scientist Dr. Asante says that the scrutiny on the part of the president-elect's team is welcome.
Oh, that is why they are there. They are there to ask questions. They are not, I'm sorry to say, they are not there as robots just to accept and go away. No, questions. You ask questions and you get relevant responses. If you don't get, after the whole exercise, you probe further by, asking people to answer questions for the stewardship of their office. So it's a normal thing. And Kwachi-Fosu is not wrong. I mean, he is also probing because if you look at the energy problems, you and I are alive to the fact that there are bills that our government must settle the IPP. So if there are other considerations, we think that this should be of great importance. It's a priority payment that we need to do. So if we are doing something to the contrary, why can't I raise a finger? If I were him, I will ask the same question and I even go further to ask more. Because all the things we are doing, nobody, people should disabuse their minds that the incoming government is up for, anything funny. No. It is in line with the spirit of and letter of the Constitution. If you read our Constitution, the preamble of it saying that we believe in a number of principles, including probity, accountability, and all the rest of them. This is one of them. And then if we are also, remember, we are signatory to the good governance agenda, part of which says that there should be transparency. And transparency means that whatever you do must be made public for people to assess what you are doing. And how do they assess that? Through information. And that is why we have strengthened that transparency aspect of what we are doing by giving a law saying that you can access public information. So here you are. They are in there to get public information and use for the running of the affairs of the state. Nothing wrong, I can say.
You heard the political scientist, Dr. Asa Asante. He's also been urging the citizens to pile pressure on the government to do the right thing, on the governments and successive governments to do the right thing.
One is that we as a society, we have allowed politicians to have field day to misbehave, if I may put it that way, in certain areas of our governance life. This is a problem that keeps recurring. But anytime we are going through a process like this transition, then those problems will rear their ugly heads. Yes, we shove them under the carpet, get a transition to its finish line, and then continue with governance. We are in a hurry to go and govern, and then the next time power is changing hands, we are revisited with the same problem. Or sometimes they've taken the trouble to another level. We are not serious about some of these things, and that is why we continue to be albatross around us. What's even more is the fact that politicians sometimes deliberately do these things. The reason behind that, I don't know. Whether it's to undermine the incoming government, and I'm speaking for the whole Fourth Republic, what I have seen so far, or to make life difficult for them and all that. I don't get it. But whatever it is, wrong is wrong. We must condemn and make sure that it should not just be condemnation, but we as a society must force it on political actors that this is what we want you to do. Remember, they are servants, they are not lords. So we should demand what we want so that they address that for us. Remember, if you don't demand what you want in governance, you will always be shortchanged. So I expect that going forward, some of these lingering challenges could be addressed and addressed head on.
You heard the political scientist, Dr. Asa Asante. Let's bring you the very latest in the world of sports. And Jones Aji is here. Good afternoon to you, Jones. What is in sports, Jones?
Right, so Coach Prosper Ogum has been speaking. And ahead, of course, Accra Folk will be taking on Kumasi Asante Kotoko this weekend. And then Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim as well has been speaking about it. Let's start off from coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Prosper Nate Ogum, who says games between Kotoko and Accra Folk always have different dynamics and would depend on the form of both sides. Hearts will travel to Kumasi to face the Porcupine Warriors in the Ghana Premier League on Sunday in a game where Coach Ogum believes his side is well prepared for.
With the boys, technical staff, everybody is very positive. We are very poised. Tactically, we are approaching the game based on how we've seen them doing, especially in their away games. But then, if you look at games between Kotoko and Hasoko, normally the dynamics are different. So, what I want to tell you is that we are very hopeful as a technical staff, as a team. The players are prepared physically, tactically, psychologically. They are prepared for the game on Sunday.
Let's move on to Manchester, because Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim says Dan Ashworth's shock exit is not the best situation, but believes the club's vision remains clear and unaffected. The departure of United sporting director was confirmed last Sunday after just 159 days with the club. Amorim spoke to the media for the first time since Ashworth's exit to preview the team's Europa League game at Victoria Pleasant today.
The first thing I want to say that since the first day I felt great support from the ownership and for Omar, from Dan also, from Jason. So and Dan was part of that, and I'm really I felt a really support from Dan also. But this is football, and sometimes these things happen with players, with coaches. I know that is not the best situation, but the important thing is that we continue in our way. The path is really clear for everybody, and I think this can happen in football. The support from everybody. So one person leaving don't change nothing. Of course, it's a bad situation, like I said, because we are talking of a human being, a professional. That support us as a team. But I think the most important thing is that your vision is really clear. And that vision don't change if only one person leaves.
So Manchester United take on Victoria Pleasant at 5:45 p.m. and then Ajax play Lazio at 8 p.m. That should do it for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones, bringing us the very latest in the world of sports. Let's talk about Parliament and what the latest election results portend for the 9th Parliament. And, well, there have been mixed reactions with regard to that. Some say that it poses a danger. Others see it as otherwise. Well, let's talk about it. The Executive Director of the Africa Centre for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, has expressed worry over the highly tilted nature of the upcoming 9th Parliament, warning accountability may be difficult to demand. Now, the NDC currently has over 185 seats, having crossed the 184 seat mark needed to hold 2/3 of Parliament. But while the NDC has promised not to abuse its dominance of Parliament, Dr. Rahman says the high attrition of experienced members capable of holding the government to account makes the numbers tally a bit worrisome. He spoke to me earlier on the Morning Star.
What makes me worried is the fact that when it comes to holding the government to account, all over the world, the majority of cases, that is the business of the opposition. It's very difficult to get members of the ruling party to be very active in holding their own to account. I just hope that we are going to see something different here. When you look at the numbers, first of all, the absolute kind of numbers that we are going to see in the 9th Parliament, and then you add to that the fact that even before the whistle was blown to commence this process leading us to where we are now, we saw a lot of heavyweights from Parliament say we are not going to contest again. And then we saw what happened on December 7th. A number of the experienced ones are gone. And then in addition, they don't have the numbers, such a way that they can spread a lot of the experienced ones, for instance, at the committee level and then maybe their front bench and so on. So when you look at all that, then you can only get worried that except if the NDC has learned a very important lesson coming from this election, that, Ghanaians abhor too much partisanship, and that even if your own is in the seat and things are not going right, as members of Parliament, you have a duty to hold your own to account. I mean, if we don't see that, and we have these low numbers on the side of the opposition, and then a very high attrition of experienced members who would have been relied upon to lead the charge in terms of holding the government to account, then you can only get worried.
But senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asante, has downplayed the concerns, arguing it is the will of the people that the numbers be that way.
Why are we worried? You see, what you see in Parliament in terms of representation is the expression of the people's desire. So nobody should be. I'm not sure we have any power to tell MPs that voters that when you are voting, think about Parliament, the people you are putting there, so that you don't get absolute majority and all that. It's a function of so many things. Yes, it's a function of public anger about governance that was in office, for which reason they decided that enough of that nonsense and that they want to replace the government with a government that they deem fit. And that is why we see the numbers that they have turned out and saying that you go to Parliament and go and be our representatives, and that it should be a learning curve for you, and that if in the future you also perform miserably in this way, you suffer the same fate. For me, there's nothing wrong with the way Ghanaians voted. That is how they want to express themselves. Nobody can legislate against that. What we have to do is that we have to also police Parliament so that they will do the needful, that they will not take us for a ride. Remember, whatever they do there has consequence on the society, and we, as ultimate beneficiaries of their actions and inactions, we also have power to also change their destinies in the next election.
You heard there political scientist Dr. Asa Asante. And that'll be it for today's edition of the Star Midday News. Sincere apologies we could not bring you the story in relation to the looming water crisis in the Ashanti region due to staff of the Ghana Water Company threatening to shut down in protest of illegal encroachment on their residential facilities. We'll bring that in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Nadi Ditete. Thank you very much for your company. Have a good afternoon.